Death is one of the most profound and fascinating mysteries of human existence, and the question of how long a soul remains on earth after leaving the physical body is a topic that has intrigued philosophers, spiritualists, and scientists for centuries. What happens to our essence once our time here has concluded? Do souls linger in a limbo, tethered to the land they knew, or do they move on to a new dimension of existence? In this video, we will explore various beliefs and perspectives on the journey of the soul, from the teachings of different spiritual traditions to contemporary studies on near-death experiences. Join us on this journey to uncover the answers to these questions that invite us to reflect on life, death, and what may lie beyond. Many souls leave this world smoothly and pass into the light, finding their place in a new dimension. But why doesn't this happen to all? Some souls remain bound to earthly life for a longer time, and there are reasons for this. Some of these reasons are related to unresolved issues, strong emotional bonds, or fear of the unknown. In this video, we will talk about how we can recognize these souls, how they differ, and what helps them find peace. I will also explain how the souls that remain on earth can continue to interact with us, and how we can understand that they are still near, helping us in difficult moments. This conversation is important to understand that death is not the end, but merely a part of the soul's journey. Understanding this will help us better grasp not only the process of departure, but also how we can assist those who have already crossed to the other side. When a person dies, their physical body ceases to function, and the soul separates from it. This moment is often referred to as the breaking of the silver thread, an invisible connection that unites the soul with the body throughout life. After this, the soul moves on to another reality that differs from our usual material world. This transition is a natural stage of the soul's existence and is associated with a change in its vibrations and energy structure. For many souls, the transition process is easy and smooth. As soon as the physical body ceases to live, the soul quickly finds its way to the light, leaving behind earthly attachments, settling all its affairs in this plane and moving on to a new level, a world where harmony and peace reign. This new level is known as the soul's home, a place where it continues its existence free of physical limitations. These souls can continue developing, learning, and helping other souls on their path. However, not all souls can leave the earthly plane so easily. There are many reasons why the transition process may be prolonged or complicated. Some souls remain tied to events or people on earth. This may be due to strong emotional bonds such as love, attachment to family, or fear for the loved ones left behind. Souls experiencing these feelings may linger on earth longer because they find it difficult to let go of earthly matters and move on to another level. Sometimes the reason for the delay in the soul's transition is feelings of guilt or unresolved conflicts. If a person, while alive, experienced deep regrets, was unable to complete important affairs or forgive someone, their soul may stay in this world to try to find a resolution. These souls need help to free themselves from their attachments and move toward the light. Often, in such cases, a medium or spiritual guide intervenes to assist the soul in completing its earthly journey and finding peace. There are also souls that do not realize they are no longer in their physical bodies. They continue living without realizing their death and may remain on the earthly plane until they recognize their new reality. These souls often need spiritual assistance to understand that their earthly path has ended and that they must move on. It is important to understand that time for the soul after death does not exist in the usual sense for us. When the soul leaves the body, it enters a world where there is no linear time. This makes it difficult to determine exactly how long a soul can remain on earth. To us, it may seem like a long period, but for the soul, which is in a different state of consciousness, this span of time may be completely imperceptible. Each soul is unique, and its path after death depends on many factors, such as the level of spiritual development, life actions, and conscious attitude toward existence. The transition process can take different amounts of time for different souls. Some find their way to the light easily, while others may stay longer in this plane due to unresolved emotional or spiritual issues. In any case, the transition process is a crucial part of the soul's journey, and every action after death is aimed at completing this phase and moving on to a new state of being. Not all souls can pass into the light immediately after death. Some remain on the earthly plane and the reasons for this can vary. It is important to understand that such souls are in a special state where they need time to let go of earthly attachments or resolve internal conflicts. There are three main categories of souls that may stay on earth: wandering souls, souls that remain for their loved ones, and lost souls. The first category is wandering souls. These are souls that could not complete their journey and find the way to the light on their own. These souls may become stuck in the earthly plane due to strong emotional ties or unresolved issues from their life. They may experience feelings of guilt, remorse, or deep emotions that prevent them from leaving this world. Wandering souls often need the help of a medium or a guide to show them the way to the light. These souls may not be aware of their death and remain bound to places or people, which hinders their transition. For example, they may stay close to their homes or in places where significant events occurred in their lives. In such cases, the intervention of a medium helps them realize that their earthly path has ended and that it is time to move on. The second category is souls that remain for their loved ones. These souls consciously choose to stay on earth to help their family and friends. Often the love and care they feel for those left behind motivate them to remain close. For example, these souls may see that their death caused great pain to their loved ones and decide to stay to support them in difficult times. These souls are not stuck in the earthly plane like wandering souls, but rather they choose to stay to fulfill a mission of protection and care for their loved ones. Sometimes they remain to guide their family members or help them in complicated life situations. It is important to note that these souls, although they stay on earth, have already found their way to the light, but are allowed to return to continue helping. Once their mission is complete, they will definitively pass to the world of light, leaving their loved ones with a feeling of peace and protection. Finally, the third category is lost souls. These are souls that remain on earth due to intense negative emotions such as fear or anger. They may feel guilt for their actions in life and fear being judged or punished in the afterlife. These souls often are not ready to move toward the light because they believe they deserve to be punished for their mistakes. The fear of the unknown and the potential judgment for their actions prevent them from moving forward. They remain in a state where their energy is filled with negative emotions and need time to release these feelings. Although these souls do not act with ill intent, they require help and support to overcome their fears and find peace. Just like wandering souls, they often seek the help of mediums who assist them in letting go of their attachments and negative emotions. Each of these categories of souls has its characteristics and reasons for staying in the earthly plane. It is important to understand that no matter which category a soul belongs to, all currently find their way to the light. This process may be different for each soul, but with help and support, they can complete their journey and attain peace. Sometimes after a loved one leaves this world, we continue to feel their presence. Souls that stay close to us find various ways to transmit their signals and remind us of their existence. These signals are not always obvious, but they can manifest in different forms and situations. Many people claim to feel something special that helps them understand that their deceased loved one is still near, even though they are no longer physically present. Let's look at some of the most common signs that may indicate the presence of a soul. One of the most common signs is the sudden feeling of presence. It may be the sensation that someone is beside you, even though you know there is physically no one there. This feeling can manifest in different ways: warmth, coolness, or even a slight touch. Many say that in these moments, they feel an emotional connection with their deceased loved ones, as if the soul is trying to comfort them and offer support. Another significant sign may be an inexplicable smell related to the person who has passed away. It could be their favorite perfume, the scent of flowers, or food that reminds you of him or her. These aromas often appear suddenly and disappear just as quickly, leaving the feeling that the soul has conveyed its presence through a familiar and comforting signal. Another way that souls can manifest their presence is through the unexpected appearance of objects. For example, you might suddenly find things related to the deceased person in the most unexpected places. These could be photos, letters, or personal items that remind you of them. Sometimes these objects appear even in places where you wouldn't expect to find them. This can be perceived as a sign that the soul wants you to remember them and the moments shared together. Another common way that souls can transmit their signals is through dreams. Many people claim to have seen their deceased loved ones in dreams. and these dreams are usually different from the usual ones. In these dreams, there is a strong emotional presence of the soul, and the dream itself leaves a feeling of peace and tranquility. These dreams can be particularly vivid and memorable, leading people to wonder if it was an attempt by their loved one to convey an important message, or simply to comfort them. It is also important to pay attention to the coincidences and synchronicities that occur in your life. For example, you might hear a song that reminds you of your loved one, or encounter a situation symbolically related to them. It could be their favorite melody heard at just the right moment, or a phrase spoken by someone that makes you feel as if you are in contact with the soul of the deceased. These moments are often interpreted as signs that the soul is trying to maintain contact and send you a message. Another important sign can be changes in the environment, such as fluctuations in temperature or the movement of objects without apparent reason. For example, many people report feeling a sudden drop in temperature in a room, or seeing objects move without anyone nearby. These phenomena are often associated with the presence of a soul wanting to show that it is still close. Finally, another sign may be the appearance of inexplicable technical malfunctions. Sometimes people notice that their phones, computers, or other electronic devices begin to behave strangely, turning on or off by themselves, making strange noises or experiencing malfunctions. These events can be interpreted as a way for the soul to draw attention through the available channels of interaction. These signals can be subtle and not always obvious, but for those who are open to perceiving them, they can become a real source of comfort. Souls can continue to influence our lives even after their physical presence has ended, and these signals can help us feel their love and care despite the separation. Each soul, despite its physical death, continues its journey in another dimension. It is important to remember that this path does not end at the moment of departure, and many souls find ways to stay close to us, providing support and guidance. The transition to the light occurs uniquely for each soul, depending on its emotional state, attachments, and unresolved matters. For some, this process may be immediate, while for others, it may take more time and help. No matter how challenging it may be for a soul to navigate its journey, it continually strives to complete its earthly path and find peace. At times, it may require the assistance of mediums or guides to overcome its fears and uncertainties. However, ultimately each soul reaches the light, releases its earthly attachments, and advances to a new, more harmonious realm. The signs that departed souls send us can be subtle and easily missed, but for those attuned to them, these signs become a significant source of comfort and support. Whether it's feeling the presence of a loved one who has passed, encountering reminders through sense, dreams, or unexpected events, these experiences help us realize that our connection with them remains unbroken, even in death. Recognizing that souls continue to watch over and protect us brings a sense of confidence and serenity. This understanding allows us to embrace death as a natural part of life's cycle, rather than as an ultimate ending. Souls will always find ways to communicate their presence and assist us during challenging times, even if we don't immediately perceive their closeness.